Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking you through my pre-production process for my upcoming short film, In Front of You. A film that I have written, a film that I am producing, and a film that I'm going to direct. By the time you see this video, we will have wrapped on the movie. Also, I would like to point out this is just my particular way of doing pre-production. There are other methodologies out there. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. This show is also available in audio format. To listen, click the podcast link below. I am going to tell you a story. It is late October 2020 going into November, and my friend from work, Morgan, he's a director. He has just kind of like cast his short film. Everything's cast. He's got the location. He's gone to the location. He's practiced his setups, and he's reported back to us. Oh yeah, guys, it's gonna look amazing. Movie's gonna be great. We've got a chef who's gonna cook all the food for the cast and crew. Everyone was excited. And as we're approaching November, Boris comes out and says, oh, you know what, guys, it's going to be another lockdown. And at that point, our director, Morgan, had to shut down the film. And, you know, we were all disappointed. I think I took that pretty hard, just because 2020 in general was a hard year, and I was looking forward to just, you know, being creative and being around fellow creatives and being on set and all that kind of stuff. So one day I was kind of at my in my workspace, and all of a sudden, like 3 ideas for 3 short movies came into my head. So I opened up a Word document, wrote a little synopsis for the first, opened up another Word document, wrote a little synopsis for the second, opened up the third Word document and wrote down a little synopsis for the third. So that way, you know, I put pen to paper so I wouldn't forget, because, you know, sometimes you think of something, and if you don't put pen to paper quickly, then the idea is just gone. So when I started working on the first script, then once I hit a writer's block, I went on to the second. When I hit a writer's block on the second, I started on the third. So eventually, I finished the first script, and that script is this new short film that I'm going to be making, In Front of You. So In Front of You is a movie that looks at so In Front of You is a movie that looks at the relationship between 2 friends, Tosin and Blessing, who are good friends, but they are slightly out of sync, and the story looks at their relationship. So In Front of You is loosely based on conversations I have had with people and situations I have been in. For me, the pre-production process, it starts off with the script. So I wrote the script In Front of You, and I was happy with it. So my next step was to get a cinematographer. So I had been in talks with a specific company called Mr. Racket, run by George and Jeff. And you can see Mr. Racket's social media page down below. The links are down below in the description. So I had planned to do like a short sketch show with them a few years ago, but I wasn't happy with the script. So I went back to them and I said, you know what, guys, this script I have right now, I don't really like it, and I don't think it's worth the investment. So I'll tell you what, whenever I have a script that's ready, I'll hit you guys up. Then when it's ready, we can do a little project together. So I sent over the script to the cinematography team, and they were happy to come on board. And you know, happy days. and Jeff of Mr. Wreck-It. For the movie, he got a professional audio engineer to join the crew. So really pleased about that. Can't wait for you guys to watch this film. Also, George, he makes kind of like beats and whatnot. So I had a talk with George, and I was like, I know you make beats, but would you be interested in kind of like doing the score and making the theme tune for the music? And he was like, yeah, he was up for that. So I can't wait for you guys to hear the score and the music of the film. So I have been working on getting a location for this film for a while. So initially I started off by asking friends. Nothing really came of that. So what I eventually did is I went on Airbnb and I looked at houses and flats in my area. And I went through a couple of pages. Then I came across certain flats that I felt fit the vibe of the film. Then I made a shortlist. And once I had the shortlist of like 5 flats, then I had a chat with the cinematography team about, what would best suit the kind of feel we're going for. So after that chat, I then made the final decision, and you will be able to see the flat in the film. And I'll also be doing a behind the scenes video from the flat, so you guys will be able, I'll do like a room tour and everything, so you guys will be able to see all the behind the scenes magic. So my next step was making a casting call. So I made a casting call, and I decided to use Twitter and Instagram over Mandy to cast my film. The reason I did this was because in the past I have used Mandy to cast. I didn't like the experience, didn't like the process. The process was really irksome, and it was difficult to get into the Mandy casting interface. But with me using social media, I was dealing with actors directly, and there was no middleman. It was just easier for me to, as soon as a message came in, I could just reply. And it just felt more natural, just like kind of communicating with the actors. So as I mentioned earlier, I was casting for 2 roles, Blessing and Tosin. So when the actors applied to audition, I sent them the relevant sides. So I sent different sides to actors for Tosin and a separate side for Blessing. When the actors applied, I gave them the sides. I gave them the synopsis. I told them the date of when we'll be shooting, the location, and how much they'll be paid. Sidebar, for the record, the casting process is so much harder than you think it is. And if you think otherwise, I challenge you to go out and cast a project and let me know how it went. I challenge you. Will anyone take me up on that challenge? I don't know, but I'm just telling you how it is. So I started receiving self-tapes, and what's really nice in being a writer-director is when you receive self-tapes from actors and you see them bring your words to life, and that's just beautiful to see the craft in action. I didn't have a casting director for this process, so I got to deliver good news to the people I cast. But I also had to break the bad news into individuals who didn't get the role, and breaking bad news in whatever form is never easy. It was difficult breaking the bad news, but I did it. When I told the actors that on this occasion you were not successful, but what I did do was, if the actors requested feedback, I did give them feedback, and the actors that did ask for feedback, they were happy about the feedback they received. So hopefully next time around they will learn from those experiences and take on board the feedback. Because as many actors know, like most of the time when you do audition, you don't get feedback. So getting feedback in order to improve is a good thing, and I think more people would like that from auditions, to know how they can rectify the mistakes they made or little technical things. Next, I got a makeup artist for my actors. This came about after I was having a Zoom call with one of my actors, and I asked them if they knew any makeup artists. They said yes. They sent me over the details for this artist. This artist is named Taylor, and she was she was who I went with. So basically, I sent Taylor a message. I just kept it short and sweet. Told her, I'm looking to make a short film. I told her the date, the location, told her about the story. It sounded all good to her. She told me her price. She sent me the price. I was like, yeah, good, that's happy. It's within my budget. She was like, great. And then I replied, glad to have you on board. So I am producing in front of you. I am funding everything. I could have applied for funding, but then I would have been beholden to someone else. But by funding the project myself, the only person I have to answer to is me. Also, have you seen those application forms for funding? They're ridiculously long. I've had conversations with friends who have applied for funding, and literally it takes days to apply, but that's neither here nor there. Arguably, when a director gets to a certain level, they have no choice but to accept money from investors in order to get their projects made, and that's fair enough. I mean, Hollywood blockbusters costs hundreds of millions of dollars, so of course you're gonna take funding to get that quality you're looking for. So this will be the second time I am producing a project from scratch. The first time I did this with my one-man show, Whiteboard, Black Pieces, Race in the West. I did multiple runs of the show in London, and I took the show to the Lagos Theatre Festival. Did you miss Whiteboard, Black Pieces, Race in the West? Don't worry, this show is available to watch on my YouTube channel. I'll leave a link in the description down below.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Let's start this show off properly, shall we? Let's go back to the past. Bananas. Bananas are a living nightmare for me. There are times when I will wake up late and will have to leave my house in a hurry, meaning I can't have a hearty breakfast. So I grab what I think, in my opinion, is the Swiss Army knives of fruit, the banana. So I leave my house and I eat my banana on the way to the tram stop. I think I can see my act, and then it hits me.
If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Make sure you check out my blog. There is a lot of exclusive content on there that I think you will enjoy. The link is in the description down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I will be bringing you some behind the scenes videos from set, and a lot of great content is coming your way. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.